Good evening, everyone. These continue to be challenging and trying times for the LGBTQ community and the nation. We must unite in order to find our path forward.
Thank you for joining the Human Rights Campaign for Unite for Equality Live. We have a jam-packed evening with some incredible speakers and inspiring stories. We are thrilled that we have people joining us from around the country.
Before we get started, we want to thank some special members of the HRC family. Many of you have signed up as equality captains, raising crucial funds for HRC and supporting our work. Thank you.
Thank you to our major donors and federal club members. Your commitment to equality and support of HRC, especially over the last few months, has meant the world to us.
Thank you to our national corporate partners and tonight's event sponsors who have continued their incredible support of HRC and have shown up for LGBTQ equality time and again.
The backbone of HRC is our incredible volunteer structure all across the country.
Their energy, leadership, and enthusiasm for our work and mission is unparalleled. And this year has been no exception. They've doubled down on their commitment and are working hard to advance equality. Thank you.
To kick things off, we have a special live appearance from HRC's president, Alphonso David.
Oh, hi everyone. Hi, how are you? I'm backstage at the HRC Event for Equality live event. Thank you so much for joining us. We have a really amazing evening ahead of us. We will hear from our HRC family, from our friends from across the country, including the next president of the United States, Joe Biden. But before the show gets underway, I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. You've all been here with us doing this work. And because you are here, we've been able to make this work possible. I want to thank all of you. It is hard to believe that it's been a year since my first national dinner event. Thank you for welcoming me. Thank you for inspiring me with your own leadership and your commitment. I could not be more grateful to be fighting alongside you for change as we face the most important election of our lifetime. The Human Rights Campaign has made a difference. We have the expertise, we have the passion, we have the determination to get this done. And we have the support of incredible individuals and organizations like you. So I just wanted to say thank you for all that you've done to make tonight a success. And thank you for all that you continue to do to make equality, advance equality forward. Please have a great time tonight. I'll see you at the after party. I only have a few more minutes to get ready. See you soon.
Thank you, Alphonso. I love you. Okay, bye. This is weird. Everyone, this is amazing. I am so happy to be here with all of you. This is live and in person. I hope you are comfortable on your couch at home, hopefully in your pajamas. My dear HRC family, I miss all of you terribly, but I wouldn't miss this event for the world. Seriously, I put on a hazmat suit, I put on a mask, I wiped down my seat in the airplane like Naomi Campbell, although I didn't look as cute because I had one of those face shields that had the big like HRC blue letters that was like face shield. I'm like, I get it, I'm wearing a face shield, thank you. Now everyone else knows. I know so many friends are watching this VIP reception before tonight's main event starts, and I want to thank you. I want to thank you for having me. I want to thank you for staying strong and healthy. These next few weeks are going to be critical, HRC family. Now, we have about 20 minutes of content, and then we are going to get to the main show. This event would not have happened without the incredible generosity from HRC members and supporters. To all of the equality captains, thank you for helping to raise so much money before the event. Before the main program, we wanted to pause and just thank all of our sponsors, as we always do at these galas, to helping make tonight happen. So here are our sponsors and our equality captains. Our sponsors, thank you so much. Remember, put your money where it matters most. And I want to thank and recognize all of HRC's volunteer leaders from across the country. We are calling it HRC Roll Call. I love this. So after this video, which showcases all 32 HRC communities, the main event is going to start. So I want to thank you, all of our volunteers across this country. Enjoy your roll call. I'm going to go sanitize my hands because I forgot I wasn't supposed to touch anything.
Hey y'all from HRC Atlanta, welcome to the capital of Georgia. Atlanta is the cradle of the civil rights movement and home to leaders like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., John Lewis, Stacey Abrams, and our 60th mayor, Keisha Lance Bottoms. We're also home to the largest LGBTQ population in the South and one of the largest HRC galas in the country. These beaches are proud to be part of the HRC family and fight for equality in the ATL.
We are the volunteer leaders of HRC Austin. Austin is the capital of Texas, the live music capital of the world, and the home of the world's largest bat colony. HRC Austin held our first gala 25 years ago, and we are proud to be part of the HRC family. GOTV.
Get the hell out to vote.
GOTV.
Burn Texas blue.
GOTV.
Go Austin!
Greetings from the Queen City. We are the volunteer leaders from HRC Charlotte, the most populous city in North Carolina and a southern jewel that has grown to become the 15th largest city in the United States. This year, we celebrated our 25th annual HRC Charlotte, North Carolina dinner. We are so proud to continue supporting the LGBTQ community in our fight for full equality. We are HRC Charlotte.
We are the volunteer leaders of HRC Chicago. This windy city, sitting on the banks of Lake Michigan, is the third largest in the US and is the proud home of The Bean, Deep Dish Pizza, and Michelle Obama. Chicago held its first dinner in 1989, and we are honored to be a part of the HRC family. Go Chi-Town.
Hello, equality friends. We're the volunteer leaders of HRC Cleveland and Northeast Ohio. Cleveland is one of the most diverse cities in Ohio, and our steering committee is a wonderful reflection of that diversity. We held our first annual dinner event in 1993, nearly 30 years ago. We are proud to be part of the HRC family.
HRC. We are the volunteer leaders of HRC Columbus. Columbus is the capital of Ohio and home of the Buckeyes and the Ohio State University. Columbus has been an HRC community for 38 years, holding our first dinner event in 1982. We are proud to be a part of the HRC family. OH!
Ohio! We are the volunteer leaders of HRC Dallas-Fort Worth. DFW is the economic and cultural hub of North Texas with one of the largest urban arts districts in the nation. And we are home to America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. HRC DFW formed the first federal club in 1987 and remains 400 plus members strong. We are proud to be part of the HRC family.
We are the volunteer leaders of HRC in Greater Cincinnati. We are proud of the 2004 repeal of Title 12, which placed a ban on LGBTQ city council legislation. And we are very proud of then-resident Jim Obergefell's win for marriage equality in 2015. And whether it's Skyline or Gold Star, we love the delicacy that is Cincinnati chili. Go Cincinnati!
We are the steering committee of Greater New York. We're more than just the Empire State. We're also the Garden State of New Jersey and the Constitution State of Connecticut. We have heart and we have grit. We are Greater New York, and we've never been prouder to stand with HRC.
We are the volunteer leaders of HRC Greater Philadelphia, the home of the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the nation's first major LGBTQ rights demonstration on the 4th of July in 1965. As proud members of the HRC family, we are striving to turn our critical state of Pennsylvania blue in our fight to make this nation a better place for the LGBTQ+ community.
We are the volunteer leaders of Greater Washington, D.C., known as the nation's capital and home of cherry blossom trees and go-go music. Greater Washington, D.C. has hosted the National Dinner for 23 years. We are proud to be part of the HRC family. We are D.C. Woo!
Hello from the HRC Houston Steering Committee. Houston is the 4th largest city in the nation, situated on the 3rd coast, the Gulf Coast. Houston's fight for LGBT rights stretches back for decades, including HRC elections work, grassroots organizing, and more. Mainly known as the energy capital of the world, Houston is also home to NASA and the space industry. Keep reaching for the stars, Houston.
Hey y'all, we're the volunteers of HRC Jackson. In Mississippi, we're known for our hospitality and diverse communities. From the heart of the blues in the Mississippi Delta to deep sea fishing in the Gulf of Mexico, we've got a little bit of everything for everybody. As HRC's newest steering committee, we are thrilled to bring our soul to the HRC family. Come see us, y'all.
Hello from Kansas City. Kansas City is home to the world's best barbecue, amazing jazz, and of course, Super Bowl 54 champs, the Kansas City Chiefs. We are a small but mighty committee and are unique in that we work in both Missouri and Kansas. We are honored to be a part of the HRC family.
Viva Las Vegas! What happens here only happens here in fabulous HRC Las Vegas style. From the Vegas Golden Knights hockey to the Las Vegas Raiders to amazing 5-star cuisine and the bright lights of the Las Vegas Strip. We are proud to fight for equality at every opportunity. We are Vegas strong in times of crisis and beyond.
Tinseltown, La La Land. We are the leaders of HRC Los Angeles. From the sandy beaches of Santa Monica to the vibrant nightlife of West Hollywood to the eclectic art scene of downtown Los Angeles, the City of Angels is a city of dreamers with something for everyone. We declare that all Black lives matter, and we are proud to be a part of the HRC family.
Greetings from the volunteer leaders of HRC Louisiana. We are the home of Mardi Gras, the French Quarter, jazz, Creole, and Cajun culture. From amazing food to festive floats to inspiring music, there is always something happening in the Crescent City and beyond. The passion of equality lives with all of us here in Louisiana. Who dat?
Yeah! We are the volunteer leaders of HRC Nashville, supporting the entire state of Tennessee. Music City is where we have been supporting and promoting our LGBTQ+ community through events, outreach, fundraising, and partnerships. HRC Nashville hosted its first equality dinner in 1995 and just celebrated its 25th anniversary with one of the first ever HRC virtual events. We love our HRC community and are incredibly proud to be part of the HRC family.
We are the volunteer leaders of HRC New England. New England is home to the oldest U.S. subway system and the first circus. We're the country's largest supplier of lobster, one of the windiest places on earth, and make a majority of and the best maple syrup. New England holds the honor of having hosted HRC's first ever dinner in 1981. Let's hear it now for New England.
We are HRC in the Triangle of North Carolina. The Research Triangle Park area is home of the UNC Tar Heels, Duke Blue Devils, North Carolina State Wolfpack, and North Carolina Central Eagles, along with other colleges and universities that make Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill their home. We are proudly fighting for equality and look forward to making a difference in the 2020 election.
We are the volunteer leaders of HRC Orange County, Long Beach, and Palm Springs. Our reach spans from palm trees and soaring temperatures to the soft sand and surf throughout Southern California. We are responsible for the legendary Orange County Garden Party, the massive Long Beach Pride, and the groundbreaking Palm Springs Her event. We are proud to represent the three communities and come together as one in support of HRC.
We are the volunteer leaders of HRC Orlando, Central Florida. Central Florida stretches from Tampa to Jacksonville and is the home to over 8 million people, including one very famous mouse. We are a diverse population and we're working hard to turn the Sunshine State blue this November.
Hey, we are HRC's Phoenix Steering Committee.
Arizona is known for its desert climate, beautiful hiking trails, and the Grand Canyon. We are proud to host the annual Fiesta Bowl college football game and to have Senator Kyrsten Sinema represent us in Congress.
We had our 16th annual gala this last March near the famous Camelback Mountain, and we are proud to fight for equality throughout all of Arizona.
We are HRC Portland, lovingly known as Bridge City, for our 14 beautiful bridges. We are also known for our food trucks, Powell's Books, and of course, Voodoo Donuts. Portland takes great pride in being leaders of equality and democracy, with statewide mail-in voting and many progressive leaders fighting for equality across the state. Even with all of this going on, we will never forget to keep it weird.
We are the volunteer leaders of HRC San Antonio. San Antonio is known for our beautiful Riverwalk and as being Military City, USA, home to one of the largest concentrations of military bases in the United States, and we could not be more proud. As part of the HRC family, we thrive on serving our community. We are HRC San Antonio.
We are the volunteer leaders of HRC San Diego. San Diego truly is America's finest city. From the beaches to the mountains and desert, San Diego has it all, including the famous California burrito. HRC has thrived in San Diego on indigenous Kumeyaay land for a decade, and we cannot wait to be back at the iconic Hotel Del for our gala next year. Stay classy, San Diego.
Hello from HRC San Francisco Bay Area. San Francisco has been at the center of the LGBTQIA+ movement, from Del Martin and Phyllis Lyon to Harvey Milk. Named the gay capital of America in 1964, we continue to be a rainbow beacon of hope for the entire LGBTQIA+ community. We held our first dinner event in 1984, continue to be a proud part of the HRC family. San Francisco!
Hello from HRC Seattle, known for our mild weather and the home of tech and aerospace industries. The Emerald City sits on the land of the Duwamish people on the Puget Sound. Seattle has it all, from spotting a pot of orcas, to viewing original Chihuly works, to finding the perfect bowl of pho or artisan brewed coffee. Seattle held our first dinner in 1999, and we continue to represent equality in Washington State.
We are the volunteer leaders of HRC South Florida. They don't call us the Sunshine State for nothing. From Palm Beach to the Keys, we know how to shine. South Florida is a cultural stew, and our Latin and Caribbean communities give us lots of flavor. We're proud to rep HRC in Florida. We the best!
We are the volunteer leaders of HRC St. Louis.
In St. Louis, STL also stands for Show the Love.
So, as we unite for equality, we want to remind everyone that
love is love.
And love conquers hate. And the world would be a better place if everyone remembered to
show the love.
We are the leaders of HRC Twin Cities. A Minnesotan, Stephen Ending, founded the Human Rights Campaign Fund in 1980. We were the first to include transgender people in our statewide equal rights laws, and we sent the first lesbian mom, lesbian farmer, and HRC Federal Club member Angie Craig to Congress in 2018. We voted blue in 11 presidential elections in a row, and we intend to keep it that way.
Yay! Hello.
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 We are the HRC Utah Steering Committee. Utah is known for being the inspiration for the Tony and Grammy Award-winning musical, The Book of Mormon. Utah is also known as the Beehive State and for our fantastic ski slopes. You bet we are proud to volunteer for HRC.
We are the new HRC Western and Central New York Steering Committee. Our region is the birthplace of the women's rights movement in Seneca Falls and was home to many suffragists, including Susan B. Anthony, and abolitionists, including Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman. We are proud to be part of the HRC family and moving equality forward.
HRC has changed my life by making me one of the most recognizable Black trans faces out here. As a musician, I really appreciate it because we are erased, especially when it comes to cisnormacy. And so to have our community uplift us in such an amazing way and make us a part of this is really, really special.
I am a teacher in a school district that uses welcoming schools as a part of its curriculum. They give us the language. They give us the examples. They give us the ability to start welcoming these kids before we ever know that they're in our classes. Welcoming schools gives us the voice that helps us become us.
HRC's work has personally impacted me by giving me mentors, and they've also impacted my professional life by helping me stay up to date on the different laws that are being passed when it comes to the LGBT community.
After coming out in middle age and getting back into the workplace, I spent 2 years at a company that didn't have basic LGBT protections in place. So I was in the closet and constantly afraid of being fired. What HRC means to me is using the Corporate Equality Index to help drive an environment in the workplace where LGBT plus people feel they can be their authentic selves.
I'm an 18-year-old lesbian from Los Angeles, California, and my connection to HRC is through both my music and my social activism. I'm a DJ, and fortunately for me, I've been able to DJ for several of HRC's dinner galas across the country in several states, and I cannot thank HRC enough for making sure that I feel heard, that I'm loved, and that I have a community and I have people to fall back on and I have a foundation.
When I came out as transgender here in Delaware, there were still no protections for people like me throughout daily life. And I was scared to come home to the state that I love without those protections. And as we fought for that trans rights bill here in Delaware, HRC was there every step of the way. My life would literally not be possible without the Human Rights Campaign.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dana Goldberg, a longtime HRC supporter and your host for Unite for Equality. Now, many of you know me from my comedy, but to start off, we begin with a moment of reflection and appreciation. I know many of us have lost loved ones and friends during the COVID-19 pandemic. This pandemic of violence against the Black people in this country, it's outrageous, and the awakening activism around the crisis is heartening, but we're all still in a lot of pain. And Breonna Taylor's family is yet to receive justice. Also, we'll pay tribute to the members of the transgender community who have been killed. You will learn what HRC is doing to make a difference there. Wildfires have been ravaging the West Coast, I know firsthand. There's flooding in the Midwest, and many other climate changes-induced disasters continue. But that would be a good time to take your first drink, by the way. We will find a way to remain hopeful for better days ahead. That's what we do in this community. And together, we will make those days better. Sadly, we've also recently lost 2 champions of civil rights and for the LGBTQ community and our equality. Please join us in reflection. Sorry, this one's hard for me. Please join us in reflection during the special performance by award-winning recording artist Brandi Carlile as we remember and celebrate the lives of Congressman John Lewis and Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
I've heard that there's a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do ya? It goes like this, the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall and the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
A meaningful life is to make life a little better for people less fortunate than you.
Your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof.
I, Bader
her beauty in the moonlight
solemnly swear
overthrew ya. She tied you to her kitchen chair. She broke your throne and she cut your ear. And from your lips she drew a hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Never become bitter, never become hostile, and never hate, for hate is too heavy a burden to bear. Love everybody.
Well, darling, I've been here before. I've seen this room. I have walked these floors. You know, I used to live alone before I knew ya. I've seen your flag on the marble arch, and love is not a victory march. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
But there has been a tradition in the United States of dissents becoming the law of the land. You're writing for a future age, and your hope is that with time, the court will see it the way you do.
When you see something that is not right, not fair, not just, you have to stand up, speak up and speak out, and find a way to get in the way and to get in trouble, good trouble, necessary trouble.
Fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you.
Well, there was a time when you let me know what's really going on below, but now you never show that to me, do ya? Remember when I moved and you, the holy door was moving too, and every breath you drew was hallelujah, hallelujah. So maybe there's a God above, but all I ever learned from a love is how to shoot somebody who outdrew you. It's not a cry that you hear in the night. It's not somebody who's seen the light. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. It was hallelujah, hallelujah.
Thank you so much, Brandy. That was absolutely incredible, and I probably should have watched that once before I went live, because if I'm crying, you're crying. We're all crying. Listen, everyone, I hope you stay engaged. I want you to embrace your power. We need to focus on the things we can control to make the change you dream of a reality. And I'll tell you what I dream of. I dream of a new president in the White House come January, one that believes in science, instead of like doctors that think, I don't know, alien DNA is being used for vaccines and they're retweeting conspiracy theories about demon semen. I can't even make this up. Although I am a lesbian, so most semen is demon semen. I'll give him that. Not all of it though, because I'm also a lesbian over 40, and these bad boys aren't going to fertilize themselves. So, anyway, I also dream of a reality where everyone's wearing a mask. Oh my God, can you please put on a mask? Just wear a mask. It's just a little thing. Just wear a mask and stop touching each other, please. Just 6 feet apart. That's all I ask. Unless you're in a relationship, and lesbians, you've probably been 6 feet apart for way too long. Come back together. Please come back together. I need Netflix to relax. That would be nice. And Netflix is getting too aggressive. I'll watch one episode, and Netflix literally sends me an email during the episode, and it's like, don't forget to finish The Politician. I'm like, I get it. You have 13 episodes. I'm a little busy. We're fighting a pandemic. I'm trying to educate myself on how to be an anti-racist, and I'm trying to keep Karen from screaming at Trader Joe's employees for not wearing a mask. Karen, put on a mask. We're in the middle of a pandemic. The other thing I dream of, and I can't wait till it happens, is October 7th. I'm sure Mike Pence gets his ass handed to him every night at home by Mother, but that night we'll get to watch him pull a Chuck Taylor out from Kamala Harris, and that is going to light me. What's that? Stick to the script? Okay, cool. Sorry, okay. Through the evening, you will hear from incredible people from many backgrounds. We are all committed to helping achieve full equality for the LGBTQ community. And you will hear how HRC is making a difference on the front lines. So a year ago, Alphonso David took the helm of the HRC as its new president. He is a dear friend to me. We've traveled the country together. We've probably had way too much tequila after some of these dinners, admittedly. I've seen him in action. You've seen him in action. He is absolutely brilliant. He is a powerful voice with a gentle heart and a smile that will light up a room. It has been a wild year, but Alphonso has led the charge. Now, before he joins us live on stage right now, I want you to take a look at all that HRC has accomplished under his leadership this year.
It feels like a lifetime ago.
Alphonso David now joins the Human Rights Campaign as president. David will be the first person of color to serve in that role in the organization's 40-year history.
Approximately a year ago, we started this amazing journey together. One that has inspired me, challenged me, and deepened my appreciation for this incredible organization. When we met last year, I made a few promises.
We must fight against voter disenfranchisement, against voter suppression, and against the erosion of our democracy.
And we delivered.
I am so proud to be building a partnership with the Human Rights Campaign, because this fight is all of our fight.
For the Black transgender women who are living in crisis, their crisis must become our crisis as well. And we will do impact litigation work.
Court temporarily blocking a Trump administration regulation that would have curbed health care protections for transgender people. The Human Rights Campaign sued to have the proposed regulation overturned.
It looks like finally, things are going to change now for real this time.
But that was just the start. We launched initiatives to find common ground with communities of faith, and we delivered huge wins, both in states.
Virginia, the first state in more than a decade to add non-discrimination protections for LGBTQ people.
And nationally.
The Supreme Court hands down a landmark ruling for LGBTQ rights.
The 1964 Civil Rights Act now protects the LGBTQ community from job discrimination.
But little did we know the extreme challenges we would face.
Now to growing concerns about the deadly coronavirus officially hitting the U.S.
When the world was hit with the worst health crisis in 100 years.
Hospital admissions increasing.
Communities of color are disproportionately affected.
The U.S. is the new global epicenter.
And the greatest economic downturn since the Great Depression.
Millions out of work.
And more businesses closed as infections rage out of control.
We adjusted to meet the moment.
Surprise! Hi, graduating class of 2020.
You are watching At Home with HRC National.
Welcome to our 5th installment of the series, Remaining Home in Faith.
We found new ways to engage with our members and communities.
From Trevor's couch in New York City to you.
Alphonso, welcome to the Daily Social Distancing Show.
We released groundbreaking research.
The LGBTQ community remains a vulnerable
PSB
group.
Research and the Human Rights Campaign
finds LGBTQ Americans are facing a higher rate of unemployment during the pandemic.
A large portions are being infected with coronavirus.
And found new ways to support LGBTQ people all across this nation.
Queer to Stay partnership. It's a financial lifeline for LGBTQ businesses that desperately need it.
And this summer, in a moment of national reckoning.
Outrage over the death of George Floyd.
It's becoming a national epidemic. Trans women of color being murdered at an alarming rate.
29-year-old Jacob Blake.
Loved ones of Breonna Taylor grieving and outraged.
We leaned in to racial justice work like never before.
Black men, black women are dying in this country. We're seeing people who have been historically marginalized and disaffected for a long time that are now speaking up loudly, and they're speaking up in volume to make sure we stop the plight of violence that is facing the transgender community.
We called for national action to transform policing and declared that Black lives matter and Black trans lives matter. We have not forgotten the biggest threat to our democracy that this nation has ever faced.
Another 4 years is not tenable for people like me, for LGBT people across this country, for marginalized communities.
We have gone all in.
CNN and the Human Rights Campaign hosting these presidential town halls.
Rolling out a new advocacy app called Team to organize virtually.
This year, DMing is the new doorknob.
Throwing our full support behind alternatives to in-person voting, such as vote by mail. Supporting a record number of pro-equality candidates up and down the ballot. Endorsing one of the most pro-equality and groundbreaking tickets this nation has ever seen.
I'm going to pass and sign the Equality Act protecting sexual orientation and gender identity.
Fight on. We are going to do this, HRC.
Now, people who have fought us for years will want us to give up. They will try to pit us against each other. They will want us to doubt our capacity. We have been here before. We cannot forget our humanity. We cannot forget that light supersedes darkness. And we cannot forget our collective power to take our dreams and make them real.
Recently, I had an opportunity to ask someone who I admired a simple question. Assume you're me, I said, running the largest LGBTQ civil rights organization in the world. What would be your number one priority? And I received a simple answer in response. Alphonso, do everything you can to protect and ensure the right to vote. It is the most important thing. That was the advice of Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Perhaps not the advice one would expect. After all, Justice Ginsburg knew the fight for LGBTQ equality well. She stood with us to ensure that we are treated with dignity under the law, that our relationships are legally respected, that we are protected from discrimination in the workplace. Justice Ginsburg believed that equality is ever inclusive. As this nation is mourning her passing, I found myself reflecting on her advice to me again and again. She understood that the right to vote is fundamental to our democracy. It is the right that unlocks all others, that allows all voices to be heard, regardless of the color of our skin, our sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, or political affiliation. Justice Ginsburg was not alone in that belief. In a speech before the Human Rights Campaign in 2016, Congressman John Lewis pleaded to all of us, saying, "The right to vote is precious, almost sacred. We need to run, not walk, to the polls. Our lives depend on it." 4 years later, our democracy stands on a precipice. More than 200,000 people have died from COVID-19 with no vaccine in sight. And we are confronting systemic racial injustice that Black and brown people have endured for far too long in this country. The decision announced yesterday in the Breonna Taylor case is just another stinging reminder. Our lives depend on what we do now, more than ever before. In the next few weeks, we have the opportunity to take control of our democracy. Election day arrives in less than 40 days. In many states, early voting has already begun, and mail-in ballots have already been distributed. The best way to protect our right to vote is to exercise it and help others do the same. We must indeed run, not walk to the polls. We must speak out and never be silenced, because without our participation and active engagement, our democracy can and will be manipulated. It can and will be weakened. It can and will be lost. Exhibit A. Anti-equality forces are trying to stack the Supreme Court. Filling Justice Ginsburg's seat with less than 6 weeks before the election is not only the height of hypocrisy, but has never been done before, and it is against the will of the people. A strong majority of the voters believe that the next justice should be selected by the next president. Exhibit B. Anti-equality forces are also ignoring the needs of the people by failing to take action on legislation to transform policing and on COVID-19. While millions of people are out of work and thousands are dying, there is no legitimacy to government when the will or the needs of the people are ignored. Know this, we are fighting back with all of our partners. And if the Senate fails to listen to us, we will not go away. We will hold every single one of them accountable and ensure that a new Congress does everything it can to restore our government. Yes, this is a lot. I know this is a lot to process. It has been a long 4 years and an even longer 6 months. I know that you're tired. I'm tired too. It is easy to feel daunted. It is easy to feel scared. So much feels toxic right now. Every corner a disaster, and particularly for marginalized people. Our opponents want us to give up, to hide, to retreat into silos. They want to silence us. They want to break us, to break LGBTQ people, to break Black people, to break women, to break immigrants, to break people living with HIV. But we are not going to break. Our will is too great. Our cause is too worthy. Our pride is too strong. And history tells us that we can do this. Just look at the movement that we have built together. We have defeated laws that criminalized us, denied us the right to marry, denied us the right to have children. No matter the barrier, we found a path forward. And that is the beauty of our communities. When we step into our light and magnify our power, we have no limits. Remember that people struggling together can co-create liberation together. It is within this space that we find reserves that we did not know existed. We must dig into our reserves to find every ounce of energy, and we must fight. Make sure our senators know that we will hold them accountable. Support pro-equality candidates like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Volunteer to get out the vote and make a plan with your friends, your neighbors, and your colleagues to vote. We cannot leave anything up for chance. And through it all, remember to dream. That's what my mother told me all of my life. In these dark days, we cannot forget that we are a community of dreamers. We have already confronted the narrative of impossibility by achieving the impossible. We saw the possibilities and we made them real, because we are also a community of builders. And I believe, like the notorious RBG, that we can build a world that is truly equal. We have inherited the visions of James Baldwin and Audre Lorde, of Ruth Bader Ginsburg and John Lewis. Without their work, our country would be less just, our community further marginalized. But we cannot simply enjoy what they left us. We must defend it at all cost. Principles only mean something if you stick by them in inconvenient times. And as Justice Ginsburg said to me, do everything you can. Now, my challenge to you, if you think you are registered to vote, check now. If you're not registered to vote, register now. If you're thinking of staying on the sidelines, please don't. We all must vote. We need to stand tall on the principles, our principles of fairness, justice, and equality. And if we do, we will shape the future of our democracy. This should be our #1 priority. Let's push for a revolution that reflects the promise of this country, a revolution that memorializes our dreams, a revolution that includes you, includes me, and includes all of us. Thank you.
Hey there, Melissa Etheridge here. You know, I've been out and proud for about 26 years now, and that's about how long the HRC has been a good friend of mine, you know? We go back a long time, back to when we did the first Equality Rocks back in 2000. That was 20 years ago. So much has happened since then. We've made great progress. There's so much that we still need to do. And it's been incredibly apparent in the last few years. Yeah, they've been very, very difficult. And one way to make ourselves and our voices heard is to vote. Vote, 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 vote. You vote, you make sure you're registered and set up to vote, and then make sure a friend is. Because that's how we're going to do this. That's, you know, it's our responsibility to do so, and we can't afford to be ambivalent right now, even with all the craziness going on. So it's vital that we channel this frustration and fear into activism. It's go time, my friends. Let's do this.
Over the next few weeks, the Human Rights Campaign community and millions of people around the country will be voting to elect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to the White House. Two people with a proven track record on fighting for LGBTQ equality and the rights of marginalized communities. It has never been more clear. Another 4 years of the current administration is not an option when people are dying, when civil liberties are disregarded, when the rule of law is ignored. Tonight, we are thrilled to have Vice President Joe Biden, who has been such a champion for equality, join us from the campaign trail.
Hey everybody, it's Joe Biden. I'm sorry we can't be together. It has meant so much to Jill and me to join you at this event over the years. And I know these are anxious times, but I'm so inspired to see how all of you have doubled down on making things better. I want to thank you for your partnership and for your conscience and your moral courage, leading the way in so many of the civil rights issues of our time. You know, today, you've heard me say this before, but America's at an inflection point. This election is going to determine our future for a very long time. We're facing multiple crises: pandemic, recession, racial injustice, climate change and wildfires, an assault on LGBTQ rights, declining faith in a bright American future. What's the common thread? A president who makes things worse, not better, who brings chaos, not order, who sees violence and only fans the flames. Folks, this is not who we are. For 4 years, Donald Trump has tried to roll back the protections for the LGBT community. You know, denying access to health care, denying transgender Americans the chance to serve our country, letting adoption agencies and homeless shelters and other public services discriminate, turning a blind eye to the epidemic of violence against transgender women of color. Folks, the White House should never be a source of opposition or fear or oppression. It should be a source of hope and moral courage and unification. As president, I promise you I'm going to draw on all the best of us, not the worst. I'll be an ally of the light, not the darkness. In this time of real peril, but it's also a time of extraordinary possibilities. You deserve a partner in the White House to fight with conviction and to win the battles ahead. Together, we'll pass the Equality Act, protect LGBTQ youth, expand access to health care, support LGBTQ workers, win full rights for the transgender community, recommit to ending HIV/AIDS epidemic by 2025. Advance the LGBTQ rights around the globe, not just at home. This moment requires us to rise together to get everyone we know involved, to remember who we are as a nation and build a better future. That's what America's always done in the past. This is the United States of America. There's not a single thing we're unable to do when we do it together. So please go right now to iwillvote.com. Make a plan to vote and vote early. And please get all your friends and family to do the same. And then go to outforbiden.com and join our team. It's time to spread the faith. Let's get to work. We can do this.
Hi, I'm Yeardley Smith, and I am so pleased and proud to be part of HRC's National Virtual Dinner this year. I've been a huge supporter of HRC for about a decade now. We've made great progress, as you know, overturning Proposition 8 in California, getting gay marriage legalized across the country. The Supreme Court recently ruled in favor of gay and transgender rights in the workplace. It's good, but we still have so much more to do. So what we need to do is vote our asses off in November. I'm telling you, listen to me. We have a president who is a piece of a lying who seems only interested in governing for about 10% of the people. And as I like to say, you cannot cherry pick people's human rights. So, my darlings, what I want you to do is, if you know somebody who wants to go to the polls but doesn't know how to get there, ride share. If they don't know how to get their absentee ballot, help them out. Anything, any and all of it works. So, if you have money to give, awesome. If you have time to give, awesome. Everything counts. Let's get this train back on the tracks so that November 4th we're raising a glass to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. We can do this. Come on, we are strong and we are mighty. Let's go. In the meantime, as you have socially distanced gatherings or happy hour Zooms, put on something great. You know, break out a dress, break out the tux, put on the jewels. It's fun. You deserve it. I'll see you on the other side. Let's do this.
When you look up leadership in the dictionary, you will find the name and the picture of this next speaker. Over the past year, he has emerged as a definitive voice people can turn to in times of turmoil. Governor Andrew Cuomo has helped New Yorkers and Americans protect themselves and their loved ones from COVID-19 when the federal government simply failed to act. He defined the narrative, developed solutions, and achieved results. In other words, he led. We all owe him a debt of gratitude, and we recognize him tonight for his tireless work. I am proud to have worked with him and proud to have him join us this evening.
Good evening. I'm Governor Andrew Cuomo. I'd like to thank my dear friend, the president of the Human Rights Campaign, Alphonso David, for inviting me to join you this evening. Alphonso was my counsel in the Capitol for 8 years and worked with me as Attorney General for 4 years before that. That's 12 years altogether. And yes, he was 18 years old when he started. Alphonso was instrumental in enacting the most progressive agenda in the United States of America. That's what we have here in the state of New York, and we're proud of it. I miss his insight, conviction, and humor. But I'm glad his talent is being put to use in a cause that is dear to me and the entire family of New York. It's good to be back with all of you again. The last time I had the privilege of addressing this great organization was back in February at the annual gala. It feels like a lifetime ago, and tonight's virtual gala shows just how much our world has changed in the interim. We are all now learning the lessons of COVID, and we're paying too high a price. 200,000 lives lost. We've learned the hard way that denial doesn't work. Deceiving the American people doesn't work. Running from a challenge doesn't work. Government incompetence doesn't work. Failed leadership doesn't work. But there's a deeper lesson also, because the virus was a metaphor. A virus attacks the body when the body is weak, when the immune system is compromised. And the American body politic was weak. It was weakened by division. We're more divided today as a country than we've been at any time since the Civil War. We've seen increasing racial tensions all across the country. We've seen more anti-Semitic attacks all across the country. We've seen the KKK march in Charlottesville, where they were so emboldened they didn't even wear hoods. We've seen children at the border put in cages. And we've seen increased tensions against the LGBTQ community. This division weakened the American body politic so that the virus could attack us, and we could not rally to defend ourselves. To overcome this virus, we must restore our unity. The only way to stop the viral transmission, to beat community spread, is by forging community. The only way to protect yourself is by coming together and protecting one another. We needed to keep ourselves safe, but we could only keep ourselves safe if we also kept others safe by wearing masks and socially distancing and being smart one for another. The question is not to choose between I or we. It never is. The answer is always both. Only unity, only community works. As Rabbi Hillel said, if I am not for myself, who will be for me? But if I am only for myself, what am I? And unity will only be restored when this nation fulfills its promise of equality. Equality for all, equality of race, equality of religion, and equality of sexual orientation and gender identity. New York stands as a testament to that proposition. We are a diverse state. We are all different. We grew up different. Our diversity and differences have made us sensitive to discrimination and exclusion, and it has made us determined to the proposition of equality. We have zero tolerance for discrimination. And we define progressive politics as the aggressive pursuit and achievement of equality. That's why New York has always led the nation on equality and LGBTQ rights. That's why New York was the first big state in the country to legalize same-sex marriage, I'm proud to say. That's why we banned discrimination based on gender identity or sexual orientation. That's why we banned the gay and trans panic defense. That's why we banned conversion therapy. That's why we passed gender. That's why we expanded coverage and enshrined the critical protections from the Affordable Care Act. That's why we passed the Reproductive Health Act and codified Roe v. Wade into state law because we were afraid the Supreme Court would try to reverse it. And it's why just last month we dedicated the first state park named for an LGBTQ person in the country, the Marsha P. Johnson Park on the East River in Brooklyn. New York, home of the NAACP, of the Seneca Falls Women's Convention, home of Stonewall, has always been at the heart of the march towards equal rights for all. And while our nation's march has been slow, too slow, together we have always pushed it forward. New Yorkers showed that unity works. We were ambushed by COVID. It moved from China last January and February and traveled to Europe, and from Europe to New York. Our incompetent federal government never even knew it arrived in the United States until months later, and by then, the virus spread to thousands. We had the worst problem on the globe. We went through 111 days of hell, but we went from the highest infection rate in the country to the lowest, because we came together and we protected one another. We've shown that what we can achieve when we are united. We've shown what this nation can achieve. And working together, New York and the HRC, we will continue this crusade for justice. We will fight the good fight, and we will win, and we will do it together. Thank you all very much, and enjoy the evening.
Hi, I'm Annette Bening, and I am so honored to join this beautiful chorus of voices to express my love and support of the LGBTQ community and to help shine a light on some crucial issues facing us during this time of economic hardship and a global health emergency. I'm the proud mom of a trans son I treasure all my kids, and I suspect, like many parents, I've learned that the best thing for me to do for them is to listen to them. It's true of all of my kids, and certainly true of my trans son. I feel so lucky because loving him has opened up a whole universe of experiences I would never have otherwise known, and it's brought me closer to the challenges facing our queer community, particularly trans folks. Just like I had to listen to my son, we as a society need to listen to the trans community and let them teach us about what discrimination feels like, what it's like to be harassed in school, not have health care, or health care providers that are trained to understand the special needs of trans people. And we especially need to listen to trans women of color who face more violence on the street than any other group in our country. I wanted to mention also a friend of mine who's a physician, a trans woman who was repeatedly harassed on the job at a well-known hospital. Luckily, she's a respected scientist as well as a physician, and she was able to quickly switch to another excellent hospital. I was glad to have her. But getting fired and forced out of a job because you're queer is usually not so easily remedied, and it continues to be a persistent common problem. That's why we need the Equality Act. It's one of the many reasons. And that would make all forms of discrimination against our community of queer people illegal. It was passed by the House and now sits on the Senate Majority Leader's desk, where he refuses to even give it a vote. Shameful. We stand on the shoulders of so many activists who fought so long to dispel all the misinformation and fear directed at our LGBTQ community. How do we continue their heroic work? We stand and speak proudly in support of our queer brothers and sisters. We educate our children and people of all ages that if they or someone they know is questioning their gender or their sexuality, that's normal and healthy, and they deserve our support. The amazing queer community in this country is so diverse, beautiful, and tenacious. They give me hope. I have hope when I see the strength of my son. I have hope when I see the resilience of the transgender and non-binary communities organizing for change across this country and across the globe. And I have hope when I see the relentless force of the Human Rights Campaign and all the many other groups pushing for progress. If you haven't already joined this effort, please start now. Open your heart, open your mind, find out the registration deadline in your state, and vote early. Your voice matters. Join this beautiful, diverse chorus of people working for equality and dignity for all. Thank you.
Transgender people in this country are being killed. More than 180 since 2013. And many of them are Black and Latinx women. We paused the program to reflect and remember the names of those we have lost this year. Let's honor them all with action. When I started this job, I committed to and launched the Transgender Justice Initiative. Over the past year, we have expanded our fight for transgender equality and justice, and we've expanded our work to include life-affirming efforts. Every day, transgender people are targeted for living their lives, for simply being who they are. Tonight, the Human Rights Campaign is launching a brand new initiative called Stop the Stigma. In collaboration with Warner Media, this campaign celebrates trans people, lifts up their stories, and amplifies their resilience, joy, and humanity. This is just the first of several spots you will see as a part of our campaign.
I could not live without, oh my gosh.
3 kisses, good morning, babe. It's always 3.
I love reading and writing. Very happy endings.
Music,
I believe there's some God in it.
My dog is another thing that brings me joy. I call her Cookie.
I could not live without love. More importantly, respect.
I'm a woman just like you.
I am a man. A human. Just like you. Only my journey was a little different than yours.
I am so happy to be with you guys, albeit digitally, and share my support for the Human Rights Campaign. Now let's be honest, it's been a couple of years, and guess what? It might get if we don't get involved. We have to get involved, and the Human Rights Campaign is on the front lines of this effort. So, if you want to get more involved, you want to get your family members involved, if you want to get your friends involved, go to hrc.org. Again, that's hrc.org. Again, that's hrc.org to find out all the wonderful ways you can get this mother out of office. I'm Tituss Burgess, and I approve this message.
Maines, aka Nia Nall, aka Dreamer on Supergirl, who I am proud to say is the first transgender superhero on television. But tonight I'm not coming to you as a superhero extraordinaire. I am here as a concerned voter who wants to thank each and every one of you for joining to watch the HRC's Unite for Equality live event. People like you make this work possible. The journey to where I am has not been an easy one, but it has made me stronger and more appreciative and proud of everything I've accomplished. And while LGBTQ people fight every day for the rights to be ourselves, we have groups like the Human Rights Campaigns fighting alongside us every step of the way. The HRC has been working for 40 years to advance the rights of all Americans, and our work still isn't done. We must unite for equality. So even in these hard times, continue to put one foot in front of the other, mask up, and continue to support groups like the Human Rights Campaigns who are working every day to support us.
Hello, I'm Naomi Campbell, and I'm so pleased to be here to support the work of the Human Rights Campaign. While I'm no US citizen, I know the rest of the world looks to the United States for leadership and salute HRC's global efforts to advance equality. I also know that there is so much at stake right now, all around the world. I hope you will use your voice and get engaged in the effort to advance LGBTQ equality, and most of all, make a plan and vote.
Hi HRC, my name is Reggie Greer, and I am the LGBTQ+ Engagement Director for the Biden-Harris campaign. As someone who's Black, gay, and has a disability, this election is personal to me. Growing up in North Texas, my mom and dad taught me to admire resiliency, to embrace kindness, and to follow love, all traits and values that our community holds dear. Donald Trump has tried to silence our voices and cheapen our values, but it hasn't worked and it won't work. I am so proud of the Biden-Harris campaign, though, because we have built a coalition that looks like America. Even the campaign itself is historic, with nearly half of it being comprised of people of color. The moment we're in has required us to listen to Black and brown people speaking out against systemic racism and injustice, to listen to LGBTQ+ youth who are scared for the future, and to listen to trans people who are fighting for their lives. As the first Black LGBTQ person in this role, I can tell you firsthand that Vice President Biden and Senator Harris are listening, and they're ready to meet this moment. So text LGBTQ to 30330 and download the Vote Joe app to get involved. And I'm thankful, so thankful to Alphonso and Jody and the entire HRC team for their partnership in this fight. Together, let's put pro-LGBTQ+ policies and LGBTQ+ people back where they belong in the White House.
Good evening, HRC. It's Pete.
And Chasten, and we are so happy to join you, our LGBTQ+ community, our allies, and our friends, tonight for this important event.
As we all know, this year has been unprecedented, chaotic, and even bleak. But the story of 2020 is not yet complete, and now we get to decide how it ends. I truly believe that if we do everything we can over these next few weeks to deliver new leadership in November, this year will actually be remembered as a turning point, as the beginning of a new and much better chapter in American life. We know there is an American majority right now prepared to support bold, important progressive ideas. A majority that recognizes and embraces full and meaningful LGBTQ plus equality, that believes in science and in listening to experts, and demands that this country finally live up to the truth that Black Lives Matter, including ending the epidemic of violence against Black trans women in this country. We can turn the page on the chaos and the cruelty that have defined this era. And now's our chance to see that this becomes a moment where our country finally moves toward something different, something better.
And Peter and I are so proud to support the Human Rights Campaign and its incredible efforts to elect pro-equality candidates up and down the ballot this year, and also doing everything we can to make sure that we make history with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris this fall. For LGBTQ plus Americans, people of color, and other marginalized communities, the past few years have been nothing short of what we could say oppressive. We know that some days it's hard to summon the strength or to find the courage to keep up the fight with everything we see happening around us, especially when these injustices are so personal. But summoning the strength and finding the courage is exactly what we need to do, day in and day out until November 3rd. And we are asking you to join us with working with HRC by volunteering, donating, or learning more about their programs that are affecting change for so many people around our country.
Now more than ever, HRC needs you. And Chasten and I, we're going to be there every step of the way.
Thank you so much for tuning in tonight and for all you continue to do for justice and equality.
I love me some Chasten and Mayor Pete. Thank you for your visibility. Once again, thank you to all of our sponsors, individual donors, and HRC members for making tonight's event possible. You know, the work of HRC is hard and it takes a lot of resources. We know this. From funding HRC's incredible foundation programs to the groundbreaking political work, we need resources to impact change. Many of you have attended live HRC events in the past, and for those of you who wish to renew your support for HRC or become a monthly donor, you can do that at $10, $20, even $100 a month or more. All you gotta do is call the number on your screen right now. Now, if you wanna help and you wanna make a donation and make it even a little easier, take out that cell phone and text GIVE to 472-472. It's as easy as that. This is the part of the night where we're gonna raise a lot of money. Now, I don't know if you know this, but an HRC membership only costs $5. That's basically a latte, one latte, which is also a little bit crazy. Lattes are $5, but there is no reason not to be a member now. And we need as many people as we can to support this work and join HRC. You can also make a donation in honor of someone. I know this has been a hard year for a lot of us, and if you lost anyone and you wanna make a donation in their name, RGB, Lewis, now's the time to do it. If you want to make it in my name, now's the time to do it. HRC has been working on a huge grassroots political effort started before the 2018 elections to support and elect pro-equality LGBTQ officials. And we are focused on the White House and all of the major races across this nation. In addition to joining or renewing your HRC membership, we need you to give to HRC's Equality Votes PAC. That's what we're going to do right now. That's going to help us win on Election Day. And please have that marked for November 3rd if you don't already know. The funds that are raised for this PAC, they're going to help HRC mobilize voters who need that extra motivation to send in that ballot. Like, I know everyone watching this, we're going to vote, okay? This money is going to help those people that may not know how, they don't know how to register, they're a little bit tentative. That's what we're going to do with this money. We're going to help them get out the vote, or they may need to hear that their vote matters and they need to understand the consequences of inaction, especially in this election. Folks, voter suppression is real. Those who oppose our values, the work that we do, they are working very hard to make sure that people think their votes don't matter. We are working to counter that cruel and very deliberate tactic, and trust me, it is very deliberate. We're going to bring up our fundraising thermometer right now, and I want to invite you to help us raise $150,000 in the next few minutes, and I know we can do that. We have done it before together with me on stage and you in the audience. I hope we can make an even bigger impact tonight. I want to blow past that number, so this is how this is going to work. If you registered for the event, you can give on your phone the same way that you've actually been bidding on the auction items. It's very, very easy. If you haven't registered, this is your opportunity to just text GIVE to 472-472. That's it. We have an amazing couple who are our allies. We love our straight allies. And they have agreed to match every dollar you give to HRC's Equality Vote Super PAC with a contribution to the Human Rights Campaign. So let's take advantage of the opportunity to double this impact. So please, I want you to give now and give often. Or just give and ask for permission, or ask for forgiveness tomorrow. It doesn't matter, we've all been drinking. Well, you have, I haven't. To see what some of the money raised will be used for, watch this ad. We are running in key districts. This is targeting key voters, which is what we need to do. We need more funds to get this message to as many people as possible. And we need your help, to afford more direct voter outreach efforts. So please watch this great video and donate now. You are going to love this. I'll be back right after this video to see how we're doing with the thermometer.
This is a queer bar. It's barely open. Here you would normally see people being themselves with their community, sometimes for the first time all week or for the first time in their lives. And no one knows when we'll be free to come back and truly be ourselves. Make no mistake, this happened because our most powerful politicians made bad choices, and they blamed us as they continue to attack our community and make us feel less safe to be ourselves, leaving everyone at the margins and on the front lines in harm's way. You hear the stories.
Bars and restaurants are not open right now, so people are losing their jobs and losing income.
Immigrant families and families of color are suffering the most due to COVID-19.
We have a president who doesn't care about us. He's racist, he's sexist, he's homophobic, he's transphobic. He tries to intimidate us with the threat of violence. His cronies in Washington and state houses across the country have enabled him at every step, and we're the ones who live with the consequences. And now Black and brown people are dying from COVID at higher rates than any other people. LGBTQ people, especially Black and brown, transgender LGBTQ people, are having more trouble making rent and paying bills. With this pandemic compounding years of inequality, because more of us lost work hours and many of us have lost our jobs. But we aren't going down without a fight. We're making our voices heard, fighting for our lives and each other's. Now's when we need to turn it up. Winning the election alone will not solve everything, but losing could cost us everything. Call, text, talk, organize, make change. We can elect leaders like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. We can make our voices heard in every race in America. And together, we can win.
Those are the kind of ads I want all over the country where we need them. That ad was incredible. HRC knows the right message and the right people to reach. Now, the only limiting factor is having the funds to get to those people. So I want you to help us get to more people so that we can get them out on Election Day. I do know that there was a little bit of a problem with buffering, and some of you missed of what I said before, so this is a time where we are raising as much money as we can. It's basically the time at the dinners where I go up there and I take all of your money and we celebrate and we scream and we yell. If you have anything to give, this is the time to do it. Whether it's $10, $1,000, hey, I know some of you can afford more than that, $5,000, this is it. So we're gonna pull up the thermometer to see where we're at and see how much we need to raise. All right, we're at $22,631 right now. I know we can hit this $150,000 goal. So if you're trying to text to give or you're trying to call in, it may run a little bit slow, but that number is going to continue to rise right there. That was another, put us right over to $23,236. Another $100 just came in. These $100 donations get boots on the ground, people knocking on doors, talking to voters, getting them out, people that might be trepidatious and they may not even have voted before in their life. I know people in the LGBTQ community that did not vote in 2016. Please do not sit this one out, okay? Right now we're at $33,656. I want to see that number continue to rise, and it is. We got $3,702. All of these donations as they come in, they're going to continue to do, see, and that's how you know this is live. I had a little bit of a moment. $47,620. These donations are going to fund the critical work HRC does in the schools, and Lord knows we'll need that because Betsy DeVos has been a disaster. We need to get her out of here too. This money is going to get people registered to vote. It's going to help. It's very quick. You can actually register to vote on HRC's website in 2 minutes, which is pretty easy. We're almost at $50,000 right now. I'd love to see that number go up. We're at $49,370, $49,420. All of these little donations, this is awesome, okay? Now, you can continue to give throughout the evening, and we hope that you will help us grow this number. So thank you so much for helping. You're about to hear from a few friends to HRCs, including Cherry Jones. Now, before that, we are thrilled to introduce a trailblazer who is helping change the lives, lived experience for LGBTQ people, citizens right here where I'm standing in Virginia. Here is no one other than Danica Roem.
Hey everyone, this is Dana Goldberg. I'm the Virginia State Delegate from the 13th District of the Virginia House of Delegates, proudly representing the city of Manassas Park and the western Prince William County portions of Haymarket, Gainesville, and my lifelong home, Manassas. And I just want to say thank you so much to the Human Rights Campaign for all the work that you did in 2017 and 2019, so that not only did we make history by electing the first out-and-seated transgender state legislator in American history, but y'all actually put me to work, especially as a member of the majority party this year when we passed the Virginia Values Act, which HRC advocated for, as well as so many other pro-LGBTQ bills this year. It was an all-you-can-gay buffet at the Virginia General Assembly. And I am so grateful for not only the fact that HRC had my back, throughout these two campaigns, but how much work HRC's volunteers and staff really did to make sure that we actually turned out our voters. It was so common in 2017 that HRC would sometimes send like more than 50 volunteers to a single event, which was amazing. And y'all worked the polls for us in 2017 and 2019. And even in 2019, when so many people assumed that my re-election campaign was just a given, HRC kept showing up, and I'm so grateful for that support. And I just want to emphasize the importance of doing this together, that it wasn't just one group in HRC's case. It wasn't just me as a legislator who was able to get bills passed this year. We really came together to pass the Virginia Values Act, and also then to pass HB 1049 from Delegate Levine, which add sexual orientation and gender identity to more than 70 sections of Virginia Code. We also were able to pass my bill, HB 1429, to prohibit discrimination against trans people on health insurance, which is something I personally faced. And we passed so many bills, from driver's licenses, birth certificates to help trans and non-binary people, to repealing the state code that still prohibited marriage equality. So I just wanted to let everyone know that HRC has had my back, I've got HRC's back, and it is time for us together to work to elect pro-equality candidates throughout the United States this year in 2020. Early voting has already begun here in Virginia, and it is time for us to get out to the polls. So let's go and work. Let's get the job done together, and let's win everywhere this November 3rd. Thank you so much.
Hello, everybody. Cherry Jones here. Like Donald Trump, I too have played a president on TV. Our country is on the brink of taking either a cataclysmic jump into the dark ages or to spring forward. And the Human Rights Campaign is helping us as a community to get out the vote. Go to hrc.org/vote, where they are able to help you with registering to vote. If you are registered, to make sure that you're on the voting rolls and that your address is correct, because they're purging voting rolls all around this country, and they can help you with mail-in voting. So please take advantage of this incredible resource. These are perilous times. I'm old, and I can tell you this is uncharted territory. So we've got to do our homework as a community. We've got to lay a plan, and we've got to do it now. Do not procrastinate. We will prevail, but it's going to be a long, hard, treacherous road either way. So let's stick together as a community and be responsible. hrc.org/vote.
Hey everyone, I am so excited to be here with you tonight. Thank you to Alphonso for inviting me, and to everyone at the HRC for all the work that you have done and continue to do. I want to start off by saying I understand why people are cynical. As Black and brown and queer people, it feels like we're in a cycle, constantly demanding the same things and going nowhere. But I promise you, we are moving forward. Even if the steps seem imperceptible, we are moving. And it is important to keep that momentum as we approach this upcoming election. It is important to use our voices to remove the propagators of violence against us. It is important to use our collective power to demand that the next person in that presidential seat is fighting for us. I know it's easy to be cynical in the face of incessant tragedy. Tragedy makes us feel powerless and consequently stagnant. But I promise you, the things that you do to pull yourself and others out of that place are significant, no matter how big or small. We have more power than ever. We have done our ancestors proud and will continue to do them proud by utilizing the privileges and freedoms that they have won for us in service of the greater good. So look at what you can do today. If that's registering to vote, then do that. If that's attending a protest, then do that. If that's signing or calling or donating or speaking out, however it may manifest for you, find out what you can do in your corner and do that. Because our voices matter. Black, queer voices matter. And in less than 2 months, we are going to be given the opportunity to prove that.
Greetings, my loves. Just a year ago, I stood with you, accepting an honor that gave me validation, that helped me find ground and continued validation in myself to be able to stand up and say that I am who I am and demand respect from any and anyone that came into my space or any and anyone that even thread close to me. But this happened because of your work. This happened because of your hard work and dedication. And of course, all the other things I had to do. But you never know how much a little help, a little push can be. So I implore you, continue the amazing work that you're doing. And I know we can't be together right now because I did love the food. But just know that your work is so needed. Please continue to do the work. In those times where you feel like you're hitting obstacles, it's because it's so important that maybe the universe is saying we really want you to work even harder to accomplish it. So delve in, dive in, continue your sacrifice, and most of all, thank you for the work that you've done. When I look at your Twitter page and I see the acknowledgement of my sisters as they pass away, as they're taken from us brutally and violently, that lets me know that you're giving us visibility, even though it's in death. Continue your work, and I thank you.
I love me some Dominique Jackson. Now, we did cut away, but I want to go back to the thermometer. I want you to see where we're at. We're at $117,000 right now. But during the video, I was told we got a phone call. We had a very generous donor that has donated $100,000. We're going to put that into our thermometer, and that's going to put us right over $217,005. Do me a favor, please do not put your phone down. Please do not stop donating. Do it for the rest of the program. In fact, for the rest of the year. We've got a lot of work to do. Now, please join me in welcoming more of HRC's supporters, followed by a great message highlighting just one of HRC's Foundation's many incredible programs.
We first joined HRC many years ago. Any organization that works to make your life better, to work in that organization is very powerful. Thanks to some real heavy lifting by HRC, Jody is now my spouse instead of my partner.
For almost a decade, I've had the privilege to serve as a master trainer and coach with the All Children, All Families team at HRC. Whether it's finding ways to meaningfully include young people and their voices like A Time to Thrive, or connecting loving LGBTQ plus caregivers with the opportunity to create forever families, I get to be a part of supporting and sharing ingredients for personal, organizational, and global change. Not really just change, love.
I am an out and proud 16-year-old lesbian Mormon within Utah. Personally, HRC was the first organization to bring awareness to the community that supports me. They were also the first organization to give me a platform and a place where I can share my voice against the inequalities between religion and the queer community, specifically within Utah.
I am the proud parent of 2 children, one of whom is trans. The creation of the Parents for Transgender Equality Council has provided an opportunity for people to see families from around the country of every hue who are committed to their children. Why does it matter? It matters because there will be another mother, father, another big person to a gender non-conforming or non-binary or genderqueer or trans child who needs support. And sometimes finding a face that looks like yours can be very affirming. I can't emphasize enough just how much HRC has meant to not just me, but many, many other families, children, aunts, grandparents, friends, whose lives have been immeasurably changed for the better because of the Human Rights Campaign.
I love school because I get to be with my friends. I'm excited about making friends.
I mean, a new class, new teacher. How could you not be excited?
When I first joined my school, I was worried that I might not have friends just because I'm part of the LGBTQ community. Well, they might not want to be friends with me because I'm a boy who likes feminine things.
My classmates in kindergarten were saying stuff like, boys can't like pink, they like blue. Boys can't like princesses, they like dinosaurs, or something. So it didn't make me feel welcome, so I told the teacher. She did not believe me.
When I have an assignment, my teacher says, tell your mom and dad sign this. It makes me feel a little sad. They should just say, tell your parent to sign this. Because not all families are the same.
My teacher has read us books about families moms and moms, dads and dads, just moms or just dads. It showed me that it's okay to be yourself and that it's okay to be different than other people in the world.
One time I had a substitute PE teacher and he divided us into boys and girls and I didn't know which one to go into. So after that, my PE teacher now doesn't divide us into boys and girls, and now he divides us into colored t-shirts. Now when I go to PE, I don't feel worried.
A welcoming school to me means a safe space for all people.
A welcoming school to me means feeling like it's my home. A welcoming school to me means I'm safe and protected. A welcoming school to me means everything.
Hi, Robbie Rogers. I'm Greg Berlanti. He's my husband. And we're here tonight to discuss what we know is really self-evident, that this is the most important election in our lifetime. The current administration is, as we all know, xenophobic, transphobic, racist. Their policies are, and the only way we can get them out is to vote them out. So we encourage you to go to hrc.org and look up and down the ballot for ways to get involved with pro-equality people running for office. And the other reason to vote, obviously very personal to us as dads with kids, is the Supreme Court. You know, there's a lot of seats open possibly in the next few years, so we need to make sure we vote and put people that have just common sense values in those positions. Thank you for hearing us out. Go and vote. Go vote.
The era of Trump and Vice President Mike Pence has been defined by its consistent attacks on the rights, healthcare, and livelihoods of LGBTQ+ people and marginalized communities. 4 more years of an administration that openly embraces racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, and transphobic appointees and policies is not acceptable. This will truly be an election like no other, not only because the stakes are so high, but also because many voters are going to face increased risks and obstacles due to COVID-19. As our nation continues to battle COVID-19, it is clear this pandemic will affect how millions of Americans will vote this fall. From Wisconsin to Georgia, partisan politicians have put their own political interests ahead of the health and safety of voters. We will not stand for this, and we will not be silent. The LGBTQ+ community has been subjected to voter suppression before, and we will not be passive in the face of efforts to disenfranchise us again. For us to advance equality, we must win elections. We need to win in local races across the country. We need to hold onto our pro-equality majority in the House. We need to secure a pro-equality majority in the Senate. And we need to take back the White House. Visit hrc.org to learn more about how we are electing pro-LGBTQ+ candidates up and down the ballot and get involved. Through programs like Vote Equal, Vote Safe, groups like HRC are doing everything they can to ensure that everyone is able to cast a ballot safely. Visit hrc.org/vote to register to vote, request a ballot, or just get information about your right to vote. Far too many LGBTQ+ people face violence and discrimination simply because of who they are or who they love. We need to change that, and we can change that.
Hello everybody, I'm Lee Daniels, and as a black man and a proud member of the LGBTQ community, I'm here to tell you that Alphonso, David, and the people over at HRC are here for me, they're here for you, they're here for us. About 4 years ago, Empire was honored at an HRC event, and I told a room full of primarily white people that he's coming for us, Trump. He hadn't announced his presidency, or that he was running for presidency, but you could feel with the murders of young black men and the nasty energy that was in the air, that something was going down. And sure enough, he announced his presidency, and he won in 4 years. Oh, he won illegally. 4 years later, here we are. And he's back, and he's coming again for us. And this time he's going to pick up from where he left off. He's going to make them last 4 years look like a walk in Disneyland. Vote as if your life depended on it. I know people say that and they just think, it may sound corny, but it does. Our lives are in peril with this man. Vote.
I'm so glad everyone else is saying it. Just please vote. Please get out and vote. Now, as we head down that road ahead of us, see what I did there? Because Lexus has been helping to drive for equality by supporting HRC. This year, they are donating a beautiful new Lexus UX Hybrid F Sport that you, yes, you watching this, can win. I get to give one of these away every year. We are doing it again now. Tonight, we are opening up the sweepstakes on Prizeo. That's right, Prizeo. The funds raised will help support the work for the HRC Foundation. To enter, to win this Lexus, all you have to do is go to prizeo.com/HRC. It's really that easy. You can get that started tonight. I want you to check out this gorgeous car right now.
Hi, Sarah McBride here. 2020 is a year of immense challenges, but it's also a year of hope. The hope of a better tomorrow and the hope of a truer, healthier democracy where all of our voices are heard. This November, we have the opportunity to elect a rainbow wave of pro-equality, openly LGBTQ candidates. We can double the number of out trans state legislators. Stephanie Byers, Taylor Small, Jessica Katzenmeier could join Jerry Cannon, Lisa Bunker, and Danica Roem. And right here in Delaware, the first state, I'm working my heart out to win in November, and with your continued help, become America's first openly transgender state senator. Our candidacies and our service would not have been possible without the decades of work of the Human Rights Campaign. I am so proud to be an HRC endorsed candidate. Now, let's go win this thing.
One, two, three, four, 5, and 6. It is 6 feet. My feet are huge, I promise. I wish my hands were that big. I'd be hung. Go ahead, Alphonso.
We're 6 feet apart. Isn't it so amazing to see all those endorsed candidates? Before we begin the final segments of our evening's program, I wanted to just join you one last time to say thank you. Thank you for everything that you've done. Thank you for everything you continue to do. And I want to also say thank you, Dana, for being an incredible host this evening. To everyone out there, you've helped make a tremendous difference. We hope that you will stay engaged, keep up the fight, and remain united with us. I want to offer a special thanks to all of our boards, volunteer leaders, steering committee members, and equality champions who do so much every day to advance the critical work of the Human Rights Campaign and who help make this event a financial success. Through all of the giving opportunities, we have raised over $2 million. And you can still bid on the auction until Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern. We also have room for more volunteers. So if you are interested, please join the team and go to hrc.org/volunteer.
Alphonso, thank you for everything. I truly love you, and I can't wait to continue this fight with you. It gets me. We still have some great moments, folks, so please don't go anywhere. Our program only has about 10 more minutes in it. I don't want you to miss any of it. First is a special HRC collaboration with no one other than Billy Porter. Billy, happy belated birthday to you, my dear. Followed by a performance from Ava Max. Now, I know we have a lot of kings and some very big queens out there. Yes, girl. I know you will love Ava's special version of her hit songs, Kings and Queens, that is just for us right here at the Human Rights Campaign. I'll be back after to help us close out the rest of the evening, so please enjoy this part of the program.
We are at a crossroads in this nation.
Outrage at the death of George Floyd.
We have seen an increasingly disturbing painting. A painting reflected on our television screens.
The unarmed black man was shot down while he was jogging.
And in our newspapers. A painting of history repeating itself. There has been and continues to be a widespread indifference and bigotry advanced through the highest halls of power.
Very fine people on both sides.
And a fundamental regression of our society.
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
We're losing our souls.
What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
If we are going to weather this existential crisis that we face in this country,
go back to whatever Asian country you belong in.
We must see beyond ourselves. We cannot win this war against hate if we live in our silos. We cannot win this war against division by remaining divided.
We're not in Mexico.
We cannot win this war against indifference by ignoring each other. We must unite and break down the barriers that too often allow some of us to forget about the rest of us.
Everybody look what's going down.
Regardless of how we self-identify, we share a common dream, the dream of full equality. It is the dream that led Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera to fight back at Stonewall.
Gay power!
It is the dream that led Harvey Milk to run for public office. It is the dream that led Edie Windsor and Jim Obergefell to fight discrimination all the way up to the Supreme Court. When we dig deep to see beyond ourselves and we see others for who they are as human beings, our power has no limits.
I need everybody to stand with us.
I say that whoever you are,
I just wanna live.
However you identify, see yourself in the person who looks nothing like you. Our next greatest achievement be realizing the dream of full equality for all of us. And let it begin right here with each and every one of us.
If all of the kings had the queens on the throne, we will pop champagne and raise a toast to all of the queens who are fighting alone. Baby, you're not dancing on your own. Can't live without me, you wanna, but you can't. Nah, nah, nah. Think it's funny, but honey, can't run this show on your own. I can feel my body shake, there's only so much I can take. I'll show you how a real queen behaves. No damsel in distress don't need to save me. Once I stop breathing fire, you can't tame me. And you might think I'm weak without a sword, but if I had one, it'd be bigger than yours. If all of the kings had their queens on the throne, we will pop champagne and raise a toast to all of the queens who are fighting alone. Baby, you're not dancing on your own. Disobey me, then baby, it's off with your head.
yeah, gonna change it and make it a world you won't forget. No damsel in distress don't need to save me. Once I stop breathing fire, you can't tame me. And you might think I'm weak without a sword, but I'm stronger than I ever was before. If all of the kings had their queens on the throne, we will pop champagne and raise a toast to all of the queens who are fighting alone. Baby, you're not dancing on your own. King can move one space at a time, but queens are free to go wherever they like. You get too close, you'll get a royalty high. So breathe it in to feel alive. Oh, to all
We rise up together against division and the forces of hate in this country. An attack on one of us is an attack on all of us. We show up. We speak up. And when you vote, we win. Now, we need you to show up for all of us. We vote for equality. Vote early, vote today.
That was awesome. Ava, that was awesome. This has been an incredible night. My goodness. You know, at times when it feels like we don't have any control over our lives, which feels like every day at this point, volunteering and giving HRC makes me actually feel like I'm making an impact. I hope it has done the same for you at home. So by now, you might be on that second bottle of wine. Listen, people, it's HRC. I know you were on the second bottle before we got to the main show. It's fine. Just get out and vote. Please remember, you can continue to give. Just text GIVE to 472-472, or you can call that number that's been on your screen all night. We want to continue to raise as much money as we can before the election. Or you can also renew your annual giving by calling in to one of our amazing HRC staff right now at that number on your screen. It's there all night for you. Thank you for joining us. You know, let's show some final appreciation for all of our sponsors and supporters. I want you to make a plan. I want you to vote, and I want you to volunteer for HRC. I don't know if you heard that. I really want you to vote. Like, I'm going to vote in person, and I'm going to vote early. But I'm just going to vote once, despite what the moron in the White House says. So get out and do it. I love you all. I have missed you terribly, and I hope next year we can all be together and celebrate what will hopefully be a new president and a brand new Senate majority if we can do our jobs. Thank you, HRC. I love you. Good night, everyone.
Hey y'all, from HRC Atlanta, welcome to the capital of Georgia. Atlanta is the cradle of the civil rights movement and home to leaders like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., John Lewis, Stacey Abrams, and our 60th mayor, Keisha Lance Bottoms. We're also home to the largest LGBTQ population in the South and one of the largest HRC galas in the country. These beaches are proud to be part of the HRC family and fight for equality in the ATL.
We are the volunteer leaders of HRC Austin. Austin is the capital of Texas, the live music capital of the world, and the home of the world's largest bat colony. HRC Austin held our first gala 25 years ago, and we are proud to be part of the HRC family. GOTV.
Get the hell out to vote.
GOTV.
Burn Texas blue.
GOTV.
Go Austin!
Greetings from the Queen City. We are the volunteer leaders from HRC Charlotte, the most populous city in North Carolina, and a southern jewel that has grown to become the 15th largest city in the United States. This year, we celebrated our 25th annual HRC Charlotte, North Carolina dinner. We are so proud to continue supporting the LGBTQ community in our fight for full equality. We are HRC Charlotte.
We are the volunteer leaders of HRC Chicago. This windy city, sitting on the banks of Lake Michigan, is the third largest in the US and is the proud home of The Bean, Deep Dish Pizza, and Michelle Obama. Chicago held its first dinner in 1989, and we are honored to be a part of the HRC family. Go Chi-Town.
Hello, equality friends. We're the volunteer leaders of HRC Cleveland and Northeast Ohio. Cleveland is one of the most diverse cities in Ohio, and our steering committee is a wonderful reflection of that diversity. We held our first annual dinner event in 1993, nearly 30 years ago. We are proud to be part of the HRC family.
HRC. We are the volunteer leaders of HRC Columbus. Columbus is the capital of Ohio and home of the Buckeyes and the Ohio State University. Columbus has been an HRC community for 38 years, holding our first dinner event in 1982. We are proud to be a part of the HRC family. OH!
We are the volunteer leaders of HRC Dallas-Fort Worth. DFW is the economic and cultural hub of North Texas. It's one of the largest urban arts districts in the nation. And we are home to America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. HRC DFW formed the first federal club in 1987 and remains 400 plus members strong. We are proud to be part of the HRC family.
We are the volunteer leaders of HRC in Greater Cincinnati. We are proud of the 2004 repeal of Title 12, which placed a ban on LGBTQ city council legislation. And we are very proud of then-resident Jim Obergefell's win for marriage equality in 2015. And whether it's Skyline or Gold Star, we love the delicacy that is Cincinnati chili. Go Cincinnati!
We are the steering committee of Greater New York. We're more than just the Empire State. We're also the Garden State of New Jersey and the Constitution State of Connecticut. We have heart and we have grit. We are Greater New York, and we've never been prouder to stand with HRC.
We are the volunteer leaders of HRC Greater Philadelphia, the home of the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the nation's first major LGBTQ rights demonstration on the 4th of July in 1965. As proud members of the HRC family, we are striving to turn our critical state of Pennsylvania blue in our fight to make this nation a better place for the LGBTQ plus community.
We are the volunteer leaders of Greater Washington, D.C., known as the nation's capital and home of cherry blossom trees and go-go music. Greater Washington, D.C. has hosted the national dinner for 23 years. We are proud to be part of the HRC family. We are D.C. Woo!
Hello from the HRC Houston Steering Committee. Houston is the 4th largest city in the nation, situated on the 3rd coast, the Gulf Coast. Houston's fight for LGBT rights stretches back for decades, including HRC elections work, grassroots organizing, and more. Mainly known as the energy capital of the world, Houston is also home to NASA and the space industry. Keep reaching for the stars, Houston.
Hey y'all, we're the volunteers of HRC Jackson. In Mississippi, we're known for our hospitality and diverse communities. From the heart of the blues in the Mississippi Delta to deep sea fishing in the Gulf of Mexico, we've got a little bit of everything for everybody. As HRC's newest steering committee, we are thrilled to bring our soul to the HRC family. Come see us, y'all.
Hello from Kansas City. Kansas City is home to the world's best barbecue, amazing jazz, and of course, Super Bowl 54 champs, the Kansas City Chiefs. We are a small but mighty committee and are unique in that we work in both Missouri and Kansas. We are honored to be a part of the HRC family.
Viva Las Vegas! What happens here only happens here in fabulous HRC Las Vegas style. From the Vegas Golden Knights hockey to the Las Vegas Raiders to amazing 5-star cuisine and the bright lights of the Las Vegas Strip. We are proud to fight for equality at every opportunity. We are Vegas strong in times of crisis and beyond.
Tinseltown, La La Land. We are the leaders of HRC Los Angeles. From the sandy beaches of Santa Monica to the vibrant nightlife of West Hollywood to the eclectic art scene of downtown Los Angeles, the City of Angels is a city of dreamers with something for everyone. We declare that all Black lives matter, and we are proud to be a part of the HRC family.
Greetings from the volunteer leaders of HRC Louisiana. We are the home of Mardi Gras, the French Quarter, jazz, Creole, and Cajun culture. From amazing food to festive floats to inspiring music, there is always something happening in the Crescent City and beyond. The passion of equality lives with all of us here in Louisiana. Who dat?
Yeah!
We are the volunteer leaders of HRC Nashville, supporting the entire state of Tennessee. Music City is where we have been supporting and promoting our LGBTQ+ community through events, outreach, fundraising, and partnerships. HRC Nashville hosted its first equality dinner in 1995 and just celebrated its 25th anniversary with one of the first ever HRC virtual events. We love our HRC community and are incredibly proud to be part of the HRC family.
We are the volunteer leaders of HRC New England. New England is home to the oldest U.S. subway system and the first circus. We're the country's largest supplier of lobster, one of the windiest places on earth, and make a majority of and the best maple syrup. New England holds the honor of having hosted HRC's first ever dinner in 1981. Let's hear it now for New England.
We are HRC in the Triangle of North Carolina. The Research Triangle Park area is home of the UNC Tar Heels, Duke Blue Devils, North Carolina State Wolfpack, and North Carolina Central Eagles, along with other colleges and universities that make Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill their home. We are proudly fighting for equality and look forward to making a difference in the 2020 election.
We are the volunteer leaders of HRC Orange County, Long Beach, and Palm Springs. Our reach spans from palm trees and soaring temperatures to the soft sand and surf throughout Southern California. We are responsible for the legendary Orange County Garden Party, the massive Long Beach Pride, and the groundbreaking Palm Springs Her event. We are proud to represent the three communities and come together as one in support of HRC.
We are the volunteer leaders of HRC Orlando Central Florida. Central Florida stretches from Tampa to Jacksonville and is the home to over 8 million people, including one very famous mouse.
We are a diverse population, and we're working hard to turn the Sunshine State blue this November.
Hey, we are HRC's Phoenix Steering Committee.
Arizona is known for its desert climate, beautiful hiking trails, and the Grand Canyon. We are proud to host the annual Fiesta Bowl college football game and to have Senator Kyrsten Sinema represent us in Congress.
We had our 16th annual gala this last March near the famous Camelback Mountain, and we are proud to fight for equality throughout all of Arizona.
We are HRC Portland, lovingly known as Bridge City, for our 14 beautiful bridges. We are also known for our food trucks, Powell's Books, and of course, Voodoo Donuts. Portland takes great pride in being leaders of equality and democracy, with statewide mail-in voting and many progressive leaders fighting for equality across the state. Even with all of this going on, we will never forget to keep it weird.
We are the volunteer leaders of HRC San Antonio. San Antonio is known for our beautiful Riverwalk and as being Military City, USA, home to one of the largest concentrations of military bases in the United States, and we could not be more proud. As part of the HRC family, we thrive on serving our community. We are HRC San Antonio.
We are the volunteer leaders of HRC San Diego. San Diego truly is America's finest city. From the beaches to the mountains and desert, San Diego has it all, including the famous California burrito. HRC has thrived in San Diego on indigenous Kumeyaay land for a decade, and we cannot wait to be back at the iconic Hotel Del for our gala next year. Stay classy, San Diego.
Hello from HRC San Francisco Bay Area. San Francisco has been at the center of the LGBTQIA+ movement, from Del Martin and Phyllis Lyon to Harvey Milk. Named the gay capital of America in 1964, we continue to be a rainbow beacon of hope for the entire LGBTQIA+ community. We held our first dinner event in 1984, continue to be a proud part of the HRC family. San Francisco!
Hello from HRC Seattle, known for our mild weather and the home of tech and aerospace industries. The Emerald City sits on the land of the Duwamish people on the Puget Sound. Seattle has it all, from spotting a pot of orcas, to viewing original Chihuly works, to finding the perfect bowl of pho or artisan brewed coffee. Seattle held our first dinner in 1999, and we continue to represent equality in Washington State.
We are the volunteer leaders of HRC South Florida. They don't call us the Sunshine State for nothing. From Palm Beach to the Keys, we know how to shine. South Florida is a cultural stew, and our Latin and Caribbean communities give us lots of flavor. We're proud to rep HRC in Florida. We the best!
We are the volunteer leaders of HRC St. Louis.
In St. Louis, STL also stands for Show the Love.
So, as we unite for equality, we want to remind everyone that
love is love.
And love conquers hate. And the world would be a better place if everyone remembered to
show the love.
We are the leaders of HRC Twin Cities. A Minnesotan, Stephen Endine, founded the Human Rights Campaign Fund in 1980. We were the first to include transgender people in our statewide equal rights laws, and we sent the first lesbian mom, lesbian farmer, and HRC Federal Club member Angie Craig to Congress in 2018. We voted blue in 11 presidential elections in a row, and we intend to keep it that way.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. We are the HRC Utah Steering Committee. Utah is known for being the inspiration for the Tony and Grammy Award-winning musical, The Book of Mormon. Utah is also known as the Beehive State and for our fantastic ski slopes. You bet we are proud to volunteer for HRC.
We are the new HRC Western and Central New York Steering Committee. Our region is the birthplace of the women's rights movement in Seneca Falls and was home to many suffragists, including Susan B. Anthony, and abolitionists including Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman. We are proud to be part of the HRC family and moving equality forward. Woo!